Welcome to JSOU's Meet the Fellows. I'm Major Jacqueline Mott, and today I'm going to be speaking with the JSOU non-resident fellow, Lieutenant Colonel Mike Kelvington. Welcome, sir, and thank you for taking the time to speak to me.
Thanks
Let's
for having
dive
me.
right in. Oh, I apologize.
Appreciate it.
First question is, what is your education and work background?
So background, I grew up in Akron, Ohio. I commissioned as an infantry lieutenant in the United States Army, went down to Fort Benning for my initial training, infantry officer basic course, airborne school, ranger school, then went up to Alaska, served in an airborne brigade there, where I did my first deployment to Iraq during the surge in 2006, 2007. After that, I assessed to go to the 75th Ranger Regiment, was picked up and moved down to 1st Ranger Battalion, where I served as a platoon leader and executive officer for Bravo Company, including 3 deployments to Afghanistan, 2 as a ground force commander. After the captain's career course, went to the 82nd Airborne Division, where I served as a company commander in 4th Brigade, did another deployment to Afghanistan. And then after that, I moved up to 2nd Ranger Battalion and served there on battalion staff as a liaison officer and then as the logistics officer for the battalion. After that, went back to brag, as they say, and was picked up to be the DCG's aide of the Joint Special Operations Command, which was a very unique year for me. And I think specifically interesting as an Army officer working for an Air Force 1-star at the time. So a great experience there. And as I left there, I went off to grad school. So West Point graduate, got my BS in American history as an undergrad, and then went on to become a Downing Scholar, where I went to Princeton and got a Master of Public Affairs focused on international relations. After grad school, went back to the 75th Ranger Regiment, where I served as a battalion operations officer and executive officer, as well as a joint task force commander overseas in Afghanistan. And then my last job was as the deputy operations officer for the 75th Ranger Regiment, where I also served as a J3 for a joint task force overseas. So overall, 14 deployments, mostly to Iraq and Afghanistan, and a mixture of experiences between conventional infantry in airborne units, as well as with special operations in the 75th Ranger Regiment.
Thank you, sir. You've definitely had a very interesting career with some areas that are a little bit unexpected. So what motivated you to focus your master's degree on public affairs, international relations, and organizational leadership?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing is the understanding that war is the last ditch effort to force the enemy to bend to your will or force them to compel. And so the understanding of the world around us, to include our environment, politics, economics, and how all of that drives decision-making decision-making processes when it comes to diplomacy, information, military and economic for the national instruments of power, and how those are appropriately or inappropriately applied to help us better understand the context that we're operating in at the operational strategic level, all the way down to the tactical when it comes to how we conduct ourselves in combat.
So with that, what projects are you involved in currently, or what interests exist for your future research?
Yeah, the biggest thing as an infantry officer, I managed a unique portfolio as a J3 overseas, as well as my portfolio back home as a deputy operations officer for the Ranger Regiment. So some experience with sensitive activities, as well as effects, to include the integration of electronic warfare, cyber space, psychological and information operations, and then finally taking a hard look at developing and upgrading the doctrine, the training, and the equipment for the organization when it comes to how we would conduct ourselves in a subterranean environment. So I'm extremely interested in Dr. Oakley's future of intelligence, and specifically how that would influence folks like myself in the operations realm, because intelligence should drive operations ideally, and that would better inform how we would conduct ourselves and synchronize our efforts to achieve the best effects we could have on the enemy in whatever environment we find ourselves in.
Well, you're definitely in a unique position to look at that for future research. So why would you choose JSOU?
Yeah, so having spent a decent amount of time within the SOCOM umbrella, I've followed and admired JSOU, consumed some of their products, listened to some of their talks, helped moderate some things in the past as a Modern War Institute non-resident fellow. And really, my current job is one of the things that's actually driving that. I'm currently the professor of military science here at the Ohio State University Army ROTC, and saw this as a great opportunity to make sure that I'm staying fresh and relevant for my cadets with all the updates and everything that's going on within the community, and be able to bring that to the classroom and ensure that I'm maintaining relevancy in my current job, to make sure that that gets translated properly to the cadets so that they can see and understand the environment, the battlefield that they'll be operating on.
So where would you see yourself in 10 years?
Yeah, that's the one question I probably couldn't answer for you right now. I still haven't figured out what I want to be when I grow up, but I'll be here for the next 3 years, and we plan to homestead here in the Columbus, Ohio area, and just incredibly blessed to be in the position that we're in. And my wife and family and I decided we're going to put down some roots. So setting conditions for what's next, but not exactly sure yet. But want to continue to serve the community and serve the country. And I think this is a great opportunity to pay forward the great opportunities that I've been given in the military, and be involved in having some good discussions and debates about what the future is going to look like, and hopefully set up the next generation that I'm currently training here for success by being involved in that.
Well, thank you very much, sir, for your time. I know that you're a busy man, so it has been a pleasure speaking with you. And I really look forward to, as I'm sure everyone does, your research efforts with JSOU. So thanks for letting us get to know you a little bit, and we hope to see more.
All right. Thanks, Jacqueline. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Rangers lead the way.